Sometimes it's like I do recognize that and I have to take a step back and understand like, hey, you can't help other people until you help yourself first. All right, come on, crowd, let's go. Woo! Come on.
And getting the crowd hype.
Come on, put it all together. Come on.
It's stupid.
Come on. Hello. Good.
All right, well, welcome to episode 10 of the. No, that's we're keeping that. We're absolutely keeping that. That's what you get. Welcome to episode 10 of the Creatives Are Essential podcast. Clearly, this is a milestone that we're celebrating.
Right.
Yes.
Or some of us. I don't know. Let's start with you, Mark. Introduce everybody. Well, everybody introduced themselves already, so we good.
Oh, yeah, pretty much.
Oh, yeah.
You introduced all of us.
I'm Mark, y'all. So
I'm Christina.
I was kind of like looking into the future, like back in the day with the Fresh Prince.
Yeah.
I did
You gotta get the crowd hype.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I'm here for it. That was.
Yeah, Creators Are
Thanks.
Essential was recorded in front of a live studio audience. So.
You woke me up. That's for sure. I was not expecting that. I'm like, he's leading praise and worship right now.
Oh, man.
What's going
That's
on, guys?
funny.
It's Monday. Well, by the time everybody sees this, it's Thursday, but we just came out of a weekend. How was everybody's weekend?
Not bad. I'm trying to think. Like it was good. It was long, but it was good. Very good.
Yeah, pretty chill. Nothing spectacular. Just chilling.
Fancy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I literally just stayed home and just watched Netflix like all weekend.
What'd you watch?
I did watch The Crown. So
Yay.
it's actually really good. I'm on
It
season
is.
2. Season
How
2.
many
Cool.
seasons are there again?
There's 4.
There's 4. Okay, yeah. No, it was good. I'm kind of mad that I finished it because that was my go-to show.
Yeah.
What is y'all show right now? Like what's your go-to show?
I
right
think
now?
we all, well, I can't speak. Let me not speak for everybody, but I know what mine is. Go ahead.
Mine is 60 Days In. I just watched the finale today, actually. So, I now feel like I am very understanding of, prison culture. And if I ever have to go to prison, I know how to become the head honcho right out the gate. So
What group would you identify with?
the kinfolk, always, you know what I'm saying? Like, what it do, fool? You know what I'm saying? Don't flex on me. You know what I'm saying? Because I have to handle you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Pop, pop.
And that is how you get raped in prison.
Pop, pop.
That's it right there.
Oh
so
my gosh.
if that's what you're going for,
Oh, man.
you got it.
Joe would be the first one out. Like,
Yeah.
the signal.
Like, hey, man, it's
Both
real,
my shoulders.
Get me out of here.
it's real sad what happened to Joe. He was a good one. So he got popped.
Oh, man. Yeah, but it's a good show. We'll leave it there. Anyway, next show.
My show right now is I don't want this to be my show, but literally that's the only thing that I'm like watching consistently is Married at First Sight.
Yep.
And that's only
Yeah.
because there's just so much toxic entertainment,
Yeah. If there were ever a show, it's Married at First Sight. Or
But
season 12.
it's not normally
12?
like that. Yeah, it's season
Yeah.
12, but it's not normally like that. It's just there's this one particular guy
Hmm.
who is just the ultimate F-boy.
Wait, so you started season 12? Is that the season we was watching
Yeah,
with the people?
that's the
Oh,
season.
okay.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay. Got you.
Just crazy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, come back. Come back.
Hey. So I would say that as well.
What, Married at First Sight?
Yeah. But
Mhm.
only when I'm with you guys. But when I'm at home, I kind of don't want to say in case you guys judge me. But
No, never.
The floor is open.
it's
Wait,
been,
let me guess. Why would we judge you? What
I mean,
why?
not judge me, but it's not like a popular show
Okay.
right now or nothing.
What is it?
Whose line is it anyway?
Yo. Hey. I don't know if you guys want. Whose line is it anyway? Is that jam?
Hilarious.
Real talk.
Yes. Okay, I feel better now.
Hey, no judgment here. They're
Yes.
probably judging you, but
Hey.
He's like, yeah.
If I'm judging you, it's only because I don't remember what that is.
I used to
Wayne
watch
Brady, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Wayne Brady was on it, but I used to watch even the ones like way back when they were in England. Like it was that far back. It was probably like in the either early 90s, late 80s. Really good. Improv show.
Yeah.
So it's really good. Scenes from a hat, sound
Yeah.
effects, all that stuff. It's
Yeah.
great. Anywho, yes.
We'll talk later.
Okay, perfect.
We'll talk
Hey,
offline.
hey, watch our other podcast called Who's Improving Now? So
The Joe and Des Show.
yeah.
Brought to you by Creatives Are Essential.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've just been watching The Crown.
You said that.
Yeah.
Boo.
Okay. I was just making sure. I thought no one introduced me. Nobody asked me what I'm watching. It's all good.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, yes, what I was doing this week. You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
My bad.
Well, you kind of said it. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. Well, to answer, I had a great weekend.
Yeah.
I didn't do anything like spectacular, but I did get to shoot some stuff Thursday and Friday to kind of wrap up the week and really just work on some photos and all that stuff. I'm trying to practice my photography because I'm not the greatest. I'm not confident in my ability as a photographer. Like I know if I'm gonna do a video, when I pick up the camera, I'm like, all right, I know it's gonna come together well. When it comes to taking pictures, I'm like,
We'll see how these come out.
we'll see how these come out. So I've just been trying to like practice and just challenge myself a little bit more. So
Yeah, those were fresh. Like
thanks.
listen, I can always tell like when I I really like something. It does something to me when I see it. And when I saw like Christina had if you haven't seen them, go to Christina's page _@_ Tina Jones.
Yes.
And check out the picture she did with Lexi. What's her last name?
Lexi Brown.
Lexi Brown. And those things were fresh.
Thanks.
And I was here when she was editing them and stuff like that. I was like, yeah, this
I
really
was
did
so
Holyfield.
proud.
And then the edits that you did with it, like was
Oh yeah, I kind of like laid them out rather
Yeah.
than just like, putting them in Instagram. I kind of laid them out a special way. Because, I'm a designer at heart. So.
yeah. I am not.
Nice.
And they got a great response. So I've been soaking that in all
She's been
weekend.
shouting you out on her Instagram.
She is. She's a real one too.
If y'all don't know who
one.
Lexi Brown is, she's a WNBA player.
Yeah,
she's
that girl
boss.
could shoot.
Yeah.
That girl can
She
to
can't shoot
listen.
better than Joe, though.
Hey, thing be wet. You know what I'm saying?
Is that a thing? Do people say that?
For basketball.
When it goes in the
They
hole.
say
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
it's-
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, level up.
Nah, she would beat you.
Yeah, she definitely
She
would.
would like she can shoot. For real.
Never mind. I was gonna tell you a story, but
No, go
it
ahead.
probably won't be that funny.
Oh.
Well,
I mean, we can be the judge of that.
all right. Well,
And then my
anyway,
facial expression will
there's
tell you
this
whether
kid
it's funny.
at my church. You know Matthew.
Mhm.
But
Oh,
he,
yeah.
he was telling me like I hadn't seen him in a while. I hadn't seen him in a while, and so he was like, "Yeah, man, what's up?" And I'm like, we're catching up and all this stuff. He's like, and just so you know, I got real good at basketball. I've been playing every day, since the last time we saw each other. I'm like, okay, that's random. He's like, yeah, and I'm good enough to beat a high schooler. And I'm like, why is that your
This
measurement?
year?
He's like 24. Like, you know what I mean? And I'm just like, okay. He's like, yeah, I definitely could make a high school basketball team right now. And he was proud of it. And I was like,
Congratulations.
great, I guess.
This is
But
hard.
yeah, anywho.
That was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how we're gonna transition into what we're supposed to talk about. No, Mark, that's your job. Transition
So I was
us.
like listening to Michael Jackson, that Human Nature song.
Mm.
Okay.
I knew that's what
And there was a question that he said.
What's the
He said,
question?
Why?
We can't do this at night anymore.
and it sprung something in you. You're like, what is my why? Right?
We can't do this at night anymore. Y'all sound like y'all been drinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I figured now would be a great time, better
Yeah.
than ever, to talk about why we do what we do, And,
Yeah.
what was our why for getting into the fields that we're in now? You know what I mean? So thanks, Mike Jack. R.I.P.
I mean, I can answer that. For me, like when I got into design and everything, well, for one, I just needed something to do because when I started, I was like towards the end of my high school, career, and I didn't know what I was going to go to school for. And I kind of just fell into it, and I was like, bet, this is going to be the thing. That's it. And then it was just fun. And then over time, like, I don't know, it just kind of stuck with me.
Yeah.
My why has changed over the years, like I want my why to be, or I believe like my purpose in life is to like build brands and build platforms for other people. It's not always that. Sometimes it's just them bills that got to get paid,
True.
But I'm trying to, get away from that, and even me like turning down certain projects and stuff.
Yeah.
Is kind of a reflection of that, I think. So don't all speak at once,
Marcus.
I mean, ladies first. I'm trying to do the cordial thing. Rock, paper, scissors. You won.
We're not doing this at night anymore. Another round, please.
I guess, I mean, I was just thinking of like, what's my why? It's a good question. I guess I just kind of got into getting in front of the camera because someone told me, why not? And I was just kind of like, that's true. Like, why not? And I just started. And for me, that was big because I have a lot of insecurities, especially back when I did start. A lot of insecurities. So for me to even go in front of anybody's camera, yet alone my own, it was big. So I guess that's my why, because I really asked myself, like, why not? So.
Yeah, that's good. Because actually, I've actually heard that from other people. Like they'll do
about
stuff
my insecurities.
No.
Yeah, we've been having conversations.
It's like, yeah,
lately.
she's really insecure, guys. Like,
So
really
can
be
we-
like tiptoe around her, please.
Like I had that from everyone.
No, like people really stepping out and doing something that makes them feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like to really, I guess, press against, like to cause themselves to grow. You know what I mean? And like, I think that's a awesome reason why too.
Yeah.
Because we can't be so like, it would be really bad if we got to the end of our lives and we end the same way we began.
Right.
Yeah.
We don't leave it all on the table.
Exactly. So putting yourself out there and doing something that you might not be comfortable with, and maybe even realizing that you like it, is commendable and awesome. And I think that's a great reason to jump into something.
And I think, sorry, but I think for me, once I faced that hurdle of insecurity, it was like I faced another one. Now, like, it's not me like taking pictures, and that has its own like, thing, but it's my face. So now I have people judging me. So like my insecurity is on like the front lines. It's like now it's a new set of insecurity. So it's like, okay, here's me, and it's like, you're ugly.
But
sorry.
But if you really
Sorry.
think about it,
Like, I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry.
I'll try to change my face.
I can't fix it. No. But isn't that really with any form of art that you or so like you're putting something that you worked hard on out for the world to judge?
It's such a vulnerable place.
Yeah.
Like it's anything that you're even like for me, even in my process, it might like when I'm working on something, if I'm editing something or whatever, like I don't even like people to be around because
She does not.
I like literally I was working on a video like a few weeks ago or a month ago, and everybody was in there. They weren't distracting me or anything, but I just felt so open. I'm like, I need to come to another room where I'm by myself because it's just like your heart is just like on display.
Yeah.
You don't know how people are gonna take it. What you gotta say?
Literally, when Christina was working on the pictures for Lexi, she, like I was just kind of like looking over, and she's like, "Yeah, like I'm showing me like something about a picture or whatever." I'm like, "Oh, that's dope." And I just kind of sat there for a minute, just kind of. She was cycling through. She's like, "Okay, you can go back to your
back now."
Well, at least that's what you got. I think one time you were editing a thumbnail, and I was like, "Oh, maybe you should." And then in that moment, I was like, "Mark, shut up." And Kristen was like, "Yeah." And then she just closed her laptop and walked out. I was like, "Woo!"
That wasn't even about you. Now I did when you was trying to give me like.
Well, it wasn't the fact that you closed it. It's the fact that you closed it with one finger.
You was trying to give me feedback for something, but there's a stage in what you're creating when you're ready for feedback.
Right.
I knew what I was doing. I wasn't looking for feedback. So you stopped yourself, and I wasn't going to tell you, no, what did you have to say?
Yeah.
All right. I'm just saying.
Listen, if anyone does anything with one finger, you said something wrong.
my God. Tripping though.
But I think for me, something that you said that I actually thought about today, in the terms of not finishing better than you started. And when I say that, it's because like my parents are immigrants. They come from Haiti and the Bahamas. And for me, I always like thought like what a disservice would I be doing to them if I didn't do better than them, given that they came from, another country to come here and obviously give me a better life.
Yeah.
Like the only way I can repay them is if I not do better than them, but actually like take advantage of the opportunities that they've afforded me coming here and as immigrants and having to work from the bottom to get me to a place where I can even do this with you guys and sit and talk on mics. Like if they made any other decision, I could have been possibly not here or in another country, So I think that, and I think for me on a grand scheme of things, it's always like my family. When I look back, at my brothers and sisters, like I just want to be able to like bless them and like, or if there's anything anyone in my family needs, like be in a position to where I can like just help and not think like, oh, do I got it? Or
I'm with you on
like,
that.
is it going to hurt the bank? Or like, no, I want to be like a resource or just a blessing to like really my family. Like if any of them fall on hard times, like, I know I can call on Mark and he has me. So I think for me, like that always pushes me to keep me like going just because I know it's just not about me. It's like about my family.
Yeah.
My future kids. Like what kind of life do I want to provide for them? And if I'm wasting these years and to give them nothing, then, it all falls on me. So
that's good.
Yeah, I feel you on that. That kind of reminds me of something Kev on stage said. I was listening to one of them podcasts he got, and he was talking about what he's building. His children don't have to like go and find a job or something. Like there's opportunity for them in the company that he's building. Like one of his sons wants to be like a filmmaker, and the other one I think wants to be like a personality or podcast host or something like that. And they don't have to try to figure out how to do that, or like they don't even have to go to school if they don't want to, because they have all the hands-on experience right there. Then even with all of this, right, like with my family, I want, or the the kids that are in my family, I want them to be able to see like you don't have to take the traditional route. If there's something that you want to do, I want them to have exposure to things like that. Like my nephew was in here and we were trying to get him to do like a little podcast or just speak on the mic a little. He wasn't interested. He was more interested in his iPad at the time. Facts. But just the fact that he knows like this is here. Like he knows like, oh, auntie doesn't have like a regular job, like he asked my mom, like, why do you have to dress up like that to work? Auntie doesn't have to dress up like that to go to the office. And I'm like,
boy, if you
don't.
My guy. Catching on.
You might know something.
Then I don't know. I think that's the dream for me, like to just have like my family involved. Even like, like you said with Kev on stage, like I would love, let's say with my YouTube channel, it gets to a place and other opportunities are afforded to me. I would love for my family just to be like, hey, I need a job.
Absolutely.
Here you go. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. As opposed to like going out there and like trying to find a job or, having to compete and no, we have the resources, like whether it's monetarily or I'm just giving you opportunities.
Right.
My sister's going to school for film. I would love to be in a position to where I can say, hey, I need a videographer for this, or I know someone who needs a videographer. This is the salary. Let me connect you with them. And you're just kind of like the gateway for opportunity. Right. And I don't know, just something about that kind of pushes me.
I wish I had that in my mind more. Like I wish it was more at the forefront of my mind, because as I'm going about my day to day, like I don't really be thinking about it like that all the time. I have my moments where I'm like, you feel inspired and you're like, what, let me do what I need to do so that so that this can actually like happen. But then
fart?
No.
I didn't know. You just like, sorry, guys.
My stomach. I'm hungry.
We didn't hear it. So I
I
didn't
heard
hear
it,
it.
but I let it ride.
Okay.
Thanks.
See how I played that? They got you.
You're talking about did you fart
In the
Right.
mic.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
I wouldn't do this.
Whoa.
Sorry, guys.
Whoops. That one slipped.
Did you hear how Joe said, excuse me? He doesn't have any tattoos.
Did you see that meme that I posted? It said, dudes without tattoos close the refrigerator door with their hip and say, boop.
It was, excuse me.
Oh my gosh. Hey.
So this episode is very off.
It's funny though, because I was telling our friend Proverbs, well, she commented on my post when I posted it, and she was like, "Why you have to call him out like that?" And I'm like, I know for sure Joe does that. I've literally heard a boop come out of his mouth like audibly. So I don't know about.
Not when I close the refrigerator.
Just I'm not saying when you close the refrigerator.
okay.
I'm just saying in general.
You boop.
Just like boop, boop. I might do it every now and then.
So what happens when you get your tattoos?
I'll be like, boop.
Boobity pop.
I'm so sorry, guys. If you came for any type of advice about creativity today, this is not the episode. This is not the episode for you. Oh my god.
Tattoos, prison,
Yeah,
and
it's it.
boops.
Yep.
That's the title of this episode.
I don't even know where we're going with this.
Sorry.
I lost my train of thought.
Oh,
Thanks,
why?
guys.
What?
I was in the middle of a thought.
You
and
were.
I couldn't even.
Think back to like when you farted. Like it was around there.
We're talking about family opportunities.
Yeah.
I'm done talking. You go ahead, Mark.
Being able to. Oh, I don't have anything else to say.
Okay, Joe. Since you got all the jokes, say something else.
First of all, I just want to personally say I'm sorry. I apologize. Christina, if you guys aren't watching, if you're listening, Christina is giving me the death stare right now. So I'm so sorry.
What did you say?
I said, thank God this isn't live. Be like,
I mean, it might as well be. It's live as ain't.
how many people are watching? 0.
Quick, guys, log in from your phones.
Damn,
Oh man.
Oh my goodness.
But
back to whys.
Yeah.
So
did you answer?
Yeah,
I
was
didn't.
say,
No,
Joe,
I
what's
didn't
your
go
why?
yet. I think for me, I just remember being in high school and really liking pictures. Like pictures, I don't know, they meant something. Like seeing a certain moment in time being captured was like, I don't know, it was just very special. And like I was playing football in high school, and we had somebody that would come and, a photographer that would come and take pictures at the end of the year. The end of the season, they would print out all the pictures, and the ones that you were in, you get to keep all that stuff. So I remember seeing like, I want to do stuff like that.
Sounds like a different process that we have today.
Yeah.
Dating yourself.
Yeah.
Come and print out the
Hey.
pictures.
Yeah. Print.
Cut them out. Be like, oh, can I get one? Yeah, you my friend. You can get one.
Flipping them things to the line. That's the red room in the back.
I would keep mine in the front of my binder.
With the clear front.
Right.
You be like, oh, your picture. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's cool, man, because it's funny.
I was hoping he
my-
lost his train of
My
thought.
track, yeah, nice try. My track coach, he had a camera. He had a not a DSLR, but I guess an SLR. It was, he used film in his, and that was the first time I actually got to put my hands on like a professional camera. And we were taking pictures like right before districts and stuff. And like I took a picture of my homeboy, and I like just that first click, that sound, like when that shutter closes, it was just like, I really like this. And I really wanted to kind of go forward with that. I ain't have the money for no, like, digital cameras back then were
A grip.
remember the memory card? What are they called? The sticks?
Well, it depends on what camera you had. If you
I had a
Sony.
Sony.
It was a memory stick,
Yeah.
but everybody else had like regular SD cards. But just
Bruh.
like
Those things were so
512 megabytes
Yes.
was like $80.
Seriously, they were so expensive. But I remember I bought like a Sony CyberShot, and like I would use, that was my introduction into.
Did you do the
like
MySpace mirror pictures?
No.
You know,
Cute photos. Oh, you.
the hip
One of
hop,
these? No, I did
the
not do
bathroom
those.
sink.
But I had that camera with me everywhere.
That's what it was.
Everywhere. Sitting up on the bathrooms.
Oh man.
No,
I
man.
forgot all about that.
Oh,
Okay,
man.
that wasn't
Oh,
me, but
man.
I know what you're talking
I was
about.
about to say, it sounded like you.
That is uncomfortable. That
Oh.
had to be on the.
But that always bothered me because I'm like, why didn't people just do this? I don't like just.
Well, they
point
didn't
it
have
at them.
front-facing cameras back then.
But like, you could turn it. Like, I guess you didn't. I don't know.
It was
just didn't make
easier
sense
to take
me.
it in the mirror. You knew what you're looking at,
Yeah.
rather than flipping it. It's not
I
like
couldn't
there
do
was
that
a
with my
screen on the
razor.
front.
I guess. I don't know. It at the time, I guess it didn't really make much sense to me. But hey, flip phones. Am I right?
Yeah.
Did everyone here have a flip phone?
I did.
Yeah. As
I had to.
okay,
Christina
outside
was
of
that kid.
before the iPhone days.
Not at the same time.
Before
Sorry. Let me call you right
You had
back.
to
I
clear
have to
shit?
jump on the other line.
two phones.
Right.
What was your favorite phone pre iPhone?
BlackBerry.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, okay, that's my favorite phone that I owned because I wanted a sidekick, but we didn't have T-Mobile. How did we get over here?
I don't know.
Anywho, I wanted a sidekick. We didn't have T-Mobile, so there that went. But like the BlackBerry at the time, it represented like business.
Yeah, that's true.
and like
That was the
entrepreneurship.
iPhone
Yeah, the little
before.
Palm Pilot.
Like
Yeah.
it was the
Yeah.
Right.
like top tier.
So
Yeah.
like
phone.
I'm in class, like responding to emails and taking like PayPal deposits and all that stuff, and I'm like, why am I here? Because
Listen,
clearly I'm made for another life.
In high school?
In high
Yeah.
school, my senior year of high
Christina
school.
didn't play no games.
What was
man.
I doing in high school? Not whipping out my BlackBerry and taking PayPal.
I
Hey,
was
I was making money.
cutting out pictures.
She was
Right?
home.
My cheerleader pictures. Like, you want one? I'll sign the back for you.
I think
Yeah.
I had the G2, the Google phone. It was not like the sidekick, but it's kind of like did like a little swivel
Oh.
pop.
Who was your
fancy.
carrier?
I think what was it? G2, T-Mobile. Yeah, it was a Google phone.
Oh, so you could have had a sidekick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I
sorry.
never really got into sidekicks or the
Sorry.
two-way pagers.
Not everybody was cool.
I just had the slide up one. I have
The sidekick?
Verizon. No, I
If
didn't
the
have a
phone
sidekick.
slid up.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I know. I think I know which one you're talking about
Yeah.
too. I can't think of
Nothing
the name of it.
fancy.
I like it. I had a sliver. Do you remember the sliver?
Yeah.
It was like the razor, but not a razor. It
But
didn't flip.
smaller.
It was just
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
slim, and you can put music on it.
Did you want the razor and your parents was just kind of like,
No, I
"Here's
wanted the sliver because you could have 100 songs on it. It was like an iPod.
Oh,
Man,
Yeah.
the times.
That was the introduction into like an iPhone. Like you
Right.
you had the Apple interface, like an iPod, and you can make phone calls on it. So
Mhm.
it was the best of both worlds for me.
This conversation is just showing me that we are getting old.
Yeah.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
cover my necklace here.
We're getting old.
Don't say that.
Like this is stuff like
We're getting seasoned.
okay.
Right.
Experienced.
All right, we
Like
getting
fine
seasoned.
wine.
Y'all getting
yeah,
old
that's true.
because
All of you, we're not that old. So
I'm
you
just
know.
saying, like,
Like-
to talk about this, like, this was like 10 plus years ago. Like, I
Yeah.
graduated high school almost 11 years ago. Yeah,
See.
I know it's worse for y'all.
Yeah.
No, yeah. It's so you were what?
yeah,
2000?
yeah.
2010.
Oh, 6.
Oh, we don't gotta talk about this, Joe.
Okay, I won't say nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, you graduated
What's up?
early?
Yeah.
Oh, no, you graduated same year.
I mean, I was the youngest. I graduated at 17. I had just
Same.
turned 17.
Yeah,
I was
graduated at
16 my
17.
senior year. Cause that boy's smart, you know. It's
Mhm.
just no. I'm
That's
just
it.
the way my birthday falls.
No, not really. It's just
That's not it at all.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So
Yeah.
you said you picked up a camera in high school. Like, how has it changed or evolved over time? Because high school was, some.
I mean, well, yeah,
some ways away.
I only had, like I said, I only had a cyber shot, and that's just like a point and shoot camera. So you couldn't really interchange no lenses, none of that stuff, right? But I really was like into it. I liked it. I enjoyed seeing really cool pictures, especially pictures of myself. Like, especially when I played.
You're arrogant.
No, because I didn't really have.
Man, that's
about
everybody
to say,
that's cool, but the ones of me.
No. Let me say, but specifically like sports. Like I love seeing like sports types of
yourself
pictures. No, in general, but because I thought they were so cool, I wanted to have some of myself.
So you took them of yourself.
No,
so
Marcus.
You set up the tripod and you had
like Uncle Rico from the Foley Diner.
You took your own high school football pictures.
No, I did not. I was just saying,
boys on their way.
Pointed at the camera.
That was everyone's picture, right?
No, it wasn't. No, but I enjoyed seeing the actual like game photos and stuff like that. It was just like I even have a bunch just from high school, a few from college.
You said it was your senior year when you first picked up the camera?
Yeah.
So tell me what happened then, because you didn't get your own camera until, outside of the Cybershot, like a professional camera, until 2012.
Like 13, 12, yeah.
That's when we started hanging out.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was...
And you graduated when?
I graduated high school in 2005.
That's a gap.
Yeah, it's a big gap. But I think I was...
What?
She over here counting fingers.
Keep it up. Yeah. Hey, I ain't ashamed of my age, so again, I'm seasoned. Right? Please affirm me.
yes.
But yeah, like, I mean, it was a bit of a struggle, I think, because I would pretty much try to do anything I could with what I had. Mm-hmm. So like, even then, like I liked making videos. I like, doing stuff like that. So I would use the webcam on my laptop and like record as many.
You did have a YouTube channel.
That's it. I used to do like all kinds of stuff, and all I would use is my webcam because, obviously, phones back then, like the video quality wasn't all that.
So you used to walk around with your video camera on. Really?
No joke. Like I would legit like.
That's commitment.
Like, in my room I would set it up and then like.
Wait, what?
My laptop. I would set my laptop up, and that's how I would record my stuff.
But just in your room, you wouldn't carry it around with you.
No, not like.
That's what I'm
no.
confused
I was about to say, wow, you're committed because you would have looked like a fool.
Sir, our Wi-Fi is private, sir.
Look like the old people that take pictures with the iPads.
What is that, Progressive? I love those commercials.
Yeah.
Anyway. Oh my goodness.
How to not be like your parents.
But that was college for me, and so I think after I graduated and I was teaching, I was in the education system for a while, and but I felt like God was really leading me to like get into like media and doing things, like, because I was really getting a lot of enjoyment from taking pictures and stuff like that. And I think around then was when we started to like kind of hang out some, and you already had a camera. Mm-hmm. And so like kind of like holding yours and like, man, this is awesome and all this stuff. And I had just come into some like a little bit more money that I could like make a purchase. So I'm like, I'm buying my own. And that's when I bought my first DSLR. It was the 60D. And I bought a pack from Adorama. Adorama, sponsor us.
Please.
And yeah, man, that was really my takeoff moment, bought me a 50 millimeter and was going for it.
Yeah. And
ever since then, Bishop been trying to like grow that skill and all that stuff, man. Yeah. I remember this little throwback story. When we were working on that video for the church, like our church at the time had just like, we were like rebranding. And Christina like made a new logo and all this stuff. And so we were working on this video that introduced our new logo of the church and all this stuff. We sat in Dunkin' Donuts for, I don't even know how many days.
It was a good 2 or 3 days, for hours at a time.
Like that was our office. And we were just sitting there like putting this, it was like 2-minute video, but we're doing stuff in After Effects.
I swear.
And like, Premiere.
Can we have another like Know Your Value like part 2? Because the amount of time that it took to create a 2-minute video that almost didn't get played. was ridiculous.
We were listen. That might be a story for another day.
Yeah, that's another time.
Yeah, that's a story for another day.
That's for the patrons.
Yeah.
Did I say that right?
Patrons.
The patrons.
She said, did I say that right? The patrons.
The patron.
Oh man, yeah. But yeah, pretty much since then, like that's when I was hooked, like, because I knew I had an inkling for it. Like I wanted it. I love seeing like well done professional pictures. But I was just like, man, I would love to be a part of that. But I was watching from afar.
Let me ask you this: is that your why or your what? Because what I'm learning as I get older is like your why. Your why doesn't change. Your what can change as you go.
Expand.
So like, for example, you and I have, or I'll say like you want to be able to provide for a family and have resources for your family and all that stuff. Like it can look different in different seasons of your life. So you may not be vlogging forever, but the heart behind why you're vlogging is that, in the next season you may be doing, I don't know.
I think something that I struggle with sometimes is actually something that you said reminded me of it. In a sense, like your mind is not there. You're like thinking of, I just need to get this off the ground.
Right.
And I do sometimes battle with myself and wondering if my why is kind of crippling me or putting too much pressure on me when I haven't necessarily got everything off the ground yet. So sometimes it's like I do recognize that and I have to take a step back and understand like, hey, you can't help other people until you help yourself first.
That's good.
So it's like, that's my why, but I do think sometimes the what needs to be put before the why, if that makes sense, based on what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Because those steps need to happen first. Otherwise, I have all this extra pressure and anxiety.
That's a very good point.
That's very good.
Boom.
Yeah.
Boom. That's the intro.
Oh, is that the
I
track?
felt that.
That's the intro.
That was good.
That's a very good point.
Yeah.
Actually, that makes a lot of sense. That explains a lot.
She's like, I ain't thinking about none of y'all until I'm good.
But it's funny though. Now when you say that now, because when you asked me that now, like, is that the what or the why? I was like, ooh, wait, do I know what the why is? Now that you say that,
pretty pictures is great.
Yeah. But
like, what's the thing behind why you do it?
Right. And when he said that just now, I know for me, like that teacher is still within me. Like I was in education and all that stuff because I liked working with kids and I liked working with, younger people and stuff like that. But even now, one of my things is trying to teach kids, skills while they're younger. You know what I mean? Like it took me a while. Like how old was I? Like I was grown, like maybe like 20,
35?
21. Keep it up. Like when I got my first camera, I was like, what, 22, 23, somewhere around there.
Your cyber shot or your DSLR?
No, the DSLR.
No, sir. This was 2012. I was 19, which means you was like 25, 26.
Wait, we're not that far apart.
We're 5-6 years apart, yeah.
Yeah, I'm 28.
And you were 19?
I was 19. I was fresh off of tour. I remember it that year, like the back of my hand.
Well, regardless, however old I was.
Don't try to, you ain't that close to me.
But no.
Age ain't nothing but a number.
Okay, calm down, R. Kelly. No, I'm just kidding. But I think the point I was making was that I found that way later, as opposed to like when I first felt that inkling in high school. Like I want to be able to say, okay, if this kid has a desire to do something like that, I want to groom them now. You know what I mean? So that they can be light years ahead by the time they get to the age that I actually got my first kid.
So you've been discovering your why through your what.
Yeah, like he just said, I thought that made a lot of sense to me because that's just my role right now. I want to be able to say, hey, I want to help you with whatever skill that I can help you with now so that you can be ahead of the game, and not trying to figure it out down the line. You know what I'm saying? Like now's the time for me to really give you the boost, like almost like what you were saying with your parents, like let them stand on my shoulders
right,
so that they can be further along in the game. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like making sure like grooming myself, but to grooming myself so that I can teach and bring people to the level that I'm at,
Right.
like younger kids, so that they have a skill that they can use to monetize or to whatever they want to do with it and go further than I've gone at this point. You know what I'm saying?
I feel
That's
you on
good.
that.
Something you said in terms of discovering what it is that you wanted to do later on in life. The reason why I say that is, do you feel like your why can evolve as time progresses? Can it shift? In the sense, like, before I picked up a camera, I didn't even know I liked cameras. You know what I mean? Although my why was always there, I knew I wanted to be successful. I knew I was going to make it happen regardless. But once I picked up a camera, that's when I realized, like, oh, I actually like this. Maybe this might be the thing that takes me there, or gets me to that place where I can provide these opportunities for my family. And I was, I think, 30 when I discovered that. I'm still in my 30s, y'all.
So you mean, can the what change, not necessarily the why? Because your why has always been
Oh, true.
Your why has always been there. It's just what does that thing look like?
Mm-hmm.
Because my what has changed over time. When I first started out, I wasn't doing any of this. I was just doing graphic design, and then over time, I'm like, okay, I picked up a camera, got into photography a little bit, and then got into video and was like forced into it a little bit. But I found that I loved video even more than photography. And, fast forward all these years, like, I use photography, video design more as like a tool to build things.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I may not have known it when I was 17, 18 years old, but I feel like my purpose has always been to build things. Because even when I wasn't doing photography or design, like, there was a period of time where I just kind of took a break, and I worked at Best Buy for 3 years. But even when I was there, I was still building things.
Yeah.
I was still building up like a whole department, and like, so I'm always trying to, I think, fill a need. And even taking the pictures for Lexi, I told you.
Yeah.
I was just trying to go and practice, but like, once I was there, I'm like I think she really has potential to be like possibly the face of the WNBA and open doors for women behind her. That's coming up. And how can I utilize the skill set that I have so that she can build her brand, so that she can do that? So I think the why stays consistent for the most part, but in every phase of life, like, the what may look different. I may not be doing, I told you, like, I don't want to take on clients at a certain point.
Yeah.
After a certain point. So I don't know what the next chapter of my life is going to look like, but I think the why is going to stay the same.
That's good.
That was
really good. I wonder how, like, do we struggle if our why might look like we're pushing or our what, in order to get to our why, might look like we're pushing somebody else's dream, or pushing them into, like you said, like, being behind Lexi, taking her pictures. You never know where that could take you. Do you feel like that can kind of interfere with our why?
Unpack that more.
In a sense of, like, getting behind somebody else's vision in order for your dreams or whatever it is that you want in your life personally to come
like
to pass.
Losing sight of her own.
Yeah, like, I felt that. I felt that a lot lately in the past, like, couple months, where I'm like, man, I've been building other people's stuff for so long. Like, what is my thing?
Yeah.
Like, what's if I never had to take on another client, what stories do I want to tell? What is it that, like, that's why I'm so grateful, like, for Creatives Are Essential, because we get to kind of control the narrative of that versus somebody else controlling the narrative and just building for them. And then, like, you have nothing, you have no ownership in that thing. I mean, technically you kind of do. But like, it's not physically yours.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been thinking a lot about like what I want to do. But even again, like with Lexi, like it was something that I chose to do. It wasn't like I need to take this on to pay a bill or whatever. Like, there was no money involved.
Yeah.
I think I'm always going to be gravitated to filling a need.
Yeah.
And but yeah, sometimes it does get annoying. So it does get annoying to always be having somebody else in mind.
Yeah. It makes me think about like Donald Glover, and like, I know he was on, I don't know, you guys know the show Community?
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, I watched
Community
it.
Church on the street.
Right.
I go there on Sundays.
Yeah, I've been there before, actually.
There was a sitcom called Community that he was on for a while, and it was a pretty popular show. But I remember like somewhere like maybe like the 4th or 5th season, he left the show like kind of, I won't say out of the blue, but like it was like, dang, that was kind of a big blow to the show. And I remember seeing an interview as to why he did. He's like, man, listen, like I didn't have no problems with the people there. I didn't have nothing. Like it wasn't an issue, and it was a great show, but it wasn't my show.
Yeah.
And he ran into that place where it was like, I'm doing something for someone else when that wasn't really what he wanted to do anymore. Like he wanted to make his own show. He wanted to do his own thing. That's when like ATL, I think it's ATL or Atlanta. I can't remember which one it's called, but he came with Atlanta. ATL? No. The show.
TV show.
That's my movie right there.
No. But no, I agree with what you're saying, because it just made me think of what he was saying. Like that's not necessarily my thing, but I understand where he's coming from, because we can all lose sight of our thing, you know, by trying to support something or to make sure we have enough money to pay the bills.
Right. I feel like that's how you can kind of get burnt out too.
Absolutely.
You have to protect that.
Absolutely. And I think you have to be super careful of that when you're in the area that you're in. You almost have to remember, like, almost like when you're planning something, let's say like a TV show, like you got to write down the purpose of the show. Because if you don't, it'll morph into
that's so real.
Like anywhere.
Especially if you have people involved.
Absolutely.
People will try to like unintentionally sometimes, but kind of like pull you or manipulate you to kind of serve their visions,
right?
You know, and their needs rather than you. And you can lose if you don't have a firm grasp on what your purpose is or what the reasoning behind it. It can turn into something.
Exactly. You got to write the vision, make it plain.
Yeah, it's funny. Two things real quick. The first one, it's funny you mentioned that about other people, because I got a text from somebody today, and I don't want to say they always want something, but I always know there's something behind the text. And sure enough,
don't you love those people?
Sure enough, they're like, "Hey, do you know your schedules? You know your weekend schedules in advance?" Like, but before even that, it was just like asking me all these questions. How you doing? Blah blah blah. And then in my head, I'm like, what do you really want? And
can we talk about that? Like, can we normalize
just
skipping the small talk and
what do you want?
What do you want?
Right. And I think for me, so I lead worship at my church, and he was messaging me to ask me what my schedule was, and I knew it was to lead worship at his church on the days I'm off, because it's scheduled since there's so many people rotating. And part of me was just like, no, like, I haven't told him no yet, but I'm gonna tell him no, because
you gonna tell him before this come out.
You might want to do that.
Yeah, but nothing against him, but because it's like when I do lead, it's the whole weekend, so it's Saturday and Sunday, so I can't afford to give you all the weekends I have off. But I just wish you would just have said what you wanted. You know what I'm saying?
I know what my weekends look like.
And they don't involve you.
Then, like, no, and it's not that it's for a bad purpose. I know, you know, it's leading worship, but I think it's important to know like your limits as well. And like, I can't be busy every weekend. I need that time for myself, my family. You know what I mean? But the second point is, this morning, actually, hopefully nobody from my job is seeing this, but so we got a calendar invite, and you know, business is always, I'm like, oh, we always have these, so there's going to be some announcement. And long story short, it was announced today that my company was acquired by another company. And
Sabri.
She said Sabre.
No.
First
Office
of all,
reference.
he doesn't watch The Office, so he's really lost.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. I'm so sorry.
He does not get it
I
at
was
all.
like, side bae, no. I'm a faithful man.
She said Sabre.
Sabre.
Sorry, go ahead.
Saber.
But so my point is, we're bringing it back in. My point is, I just saw. Now it doesn't necessarily mean that everyone's losing their job tomorrow, but I did see the impact that it had on everyone in the call, because you're thinking about people who day in and day out, they're spending hours. You guys know sometimes I'm here at 9:30, 10 o'clock at night working. So, and I just see the impact of all these people who invested so much into this particular company. Of course, they're getting paid.
Yeah.
But you do develop some sort of like ownership, or like you just feel like And then at any point when that is rocked or now that the company's acquired, what does that mean for me? For me, it made me evaluate once again, like, don't get comfortable. Remember what your why is. Remember what your what is. And remember, like, this is not the final destination for you. So how do you keep making sure you're moving towards your goals and your why? Because, like, as you can see, it's just nothing is forever.
Yeah.
Even stuff I feel like even stuff that you may own, like things can shift so quickly. Like even with COVID, right? Like Kev on stage, right? He was planning on going on tour and everything. And well, this is kind of off, but like he was planning on going on tour, and then COVID came, canceled all the tours. So it's like even with that, like there's no true stability. You kind of always have to be looking for what the next thing is, but still knowing your why behind that. But out of that, he was able to come up with like a virtual comedy club. So the why didn't change, but the what changed for him. You know?
That's good.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Well, this actually turned into something because I wasn't sure that anybody listening to this was going to get anything, including myself.
For those of you that made it to the end of this, congratulations. You did a
Y'all are the real MVPs. Man,
awesome, man.
that was good, though.
Very good.
That was a very good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For those of you who are watching, if you can just comment down in the comment section, what is your why and what is your what?
Mr. YouTube.
And what is your what, guys?
Yeah.
What is your why?
What's your what?
Your
And what's your why?
and your what? Know your whys and your what.
Yeah.
Cool.
I wish
I
they
dig
could
it.
comment what to name this show.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We should
It's all right.
crowdsource it or do like a story on
And say what? We was
Creators
talking
Central,
about
like, yeah. Which
prison
title y'all like?
and Sabre and Boop.
Oh man.
Well, Mark, since you wanted to take my line the last time, what inspired you? What's been inspiring you lately?
What's been inspiring me this week?
I want you guys to know that this always sneaks up on us every
And we-
single
and we
episode.
know
I don't even know.
And
what's
we
been
know
inspiring
it's
We had all week to think of something. We had all day to think of something.
me. 2 weeks actually.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Honestly,
You got this, champ.
if I could be honest, I'm gonna keep it real.
Nothing's inspired you.
Nothing has inspired
I
me
feel
this
that.
week.
Nah,
No,
that's
and
a cop out.
No, I got something.
I'm being serious though. Like I think to this week I was just like, you just need to rest. Like, you know, specifically this past weekend, I did nothing except for like just watch Netflix. And that doesn't happen often. I think for me sometimes I just need that. Leave me alone. Social media, work, everything,
Yeah.
just that time for myself, like mentally. I'm big on like my mental health, you know, as I get older, you know.
Any inspiration on The Crown? Any characters that you're like, huh?
I would say,
Spoiler alert.
I would say
Oh.
Princess Margaret.
Okay.
She was living her life. She was
Yeah.
living
She is
her life.
probably
Yeah.
one of my favorite character. Well, not that she was a character, but
Mhm.
just her like willingness to like live her own life. And I'm not
or try to.
or try to.
Mhm.
And there was a point in the show, spoiler alerts for anyone who is watching it, where she had to choose between, you know, her duties
Mhm.
and her relationship.
Mhm.
And in that moment, I was like, oh, heck no, I would have probably chosen like my relationship, you know, to live my life freely. But the fact that she chose her duty and chose to remain faithful to the crown, I was like, I have to take my hat off. As hard as that is,
Wasn't gonna be me.
I had to respect it
What season you on?
too.
Okay.
Okay, wasn't gonna be me.
No, it wouldn't be me. I respect it, but it wouldn't be me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The whole time I'm just looking at the TV like, nah.
Yeah.
This
That
is-
whole concept is just,
crazy.
yeah. It's good. It's good. It's a good show though.
Speaking
Alright,
of
guys.
good, what good thing has
Oh.
inspired you this week?
So honestly, I would say myself only
All right, Kanye.
because
Been drinking from the same cup
At the
as Joe.
Grammys, I said I inspired me, but my
I-
big brother, who always tried to be.
Ooh. Don't know
Bars.
that
When I
song.
kicked the ball, it was like
Big
pick and
brother.
roll. 'Cause
That's
even
big.
if he
No.
gave me the rock, it's give and go. All right, go ahead. I expected you to know that.
I didn't.
All right,
Big
YouTube.
brother, Kanye graduation.
Please don't
Sorry.
copyright us for that. But
Yeah, because I sound like Kanye.
used to be Dame, sorry, and Big's brother. I got you.
Thanks. I should have passed. Next time I'll pass it to you because
Yeah.
I just left me hanging.
Yeah.
Go ahead. You inspired yourself.
I did, only because I don't know, for the past couple of weeks I just been like out of it, like checked out. So the fact that even in my checked outness, thank you, I've still been functioning. Like I've still been like doing this and doing that and getting up, and I haven't been just like, all right, forget it. Like I've been pushing, trying to be more intentional despite how I feel. So yeah, I would say that, this week I am my own inspiration.
Yeah. And I admire you for that, because that's not an easy thing to do at all.
No. Oh no. I so want to be on that couch under the covers. Like, when can I go home?
Please.
For real. But I've been like, trying not to, be in that place. Been like, all right, let me do whatever. So I am my own inspiration.
Yeah. I love it.
Thank you. I'm just glad I came up with something.
I inspired myself because I had no inspiration until this moment, and I thought of one.
Talking,
so I've just inspired myself. Thank you very much. I find my
words
Boom.
Along the way.
Boop. You know what I'm saying?
You can't deep, right? I was like, you can't deep boop yet. You haven't gotten tatted.
No. See, guys who boop, they also do that. They also write on themselves.
Yeah. With like in junior high, like in pen, like, look, I have tattoos. Like, no, you don't.
So y'all never got like the gold foil, like, and put in the tin foil?
I did. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I did.
Yep.
I was that girl.
No, my mama knew when somebody touched her foil. Don't touch my foil. Come here.
She's like, who took some? This feels emptier.
Like, not me. Oh man, I'm gonna say I was inspired by a gentleman that I know. He told me yesterday at church that
he could make a high school basketball team.
I was thinking that.
Just like, and I could make a high school football team.
No, this is a different young man. He just told me that he's going full time. Like, he's quitting his job. He's going full time into like his media company and videography and photography and all that good stuff, man. And I'm happy for him, and he's shout out to Corey. Hey, appreciate you, big dog. Yeah, man, nothing but just blessings for him, man. I was just really happy to just be able to pray with him and just see him take that step, man, because he got the juice.
I love it.
Yeah.
Kudos to you. Actually, what inspired me was somebody's response to the podcast. So somebody sent a message, or they kind of tagged Creatives Are Essential in their video, but they were talking about how the podcast is giving them the motivation and the inspiration to get back into their creative field. And they had taken a break. And I was like,
that's always cool.
Us?
But that's so like,
you talking about
that? That's so important though, because I think, this completely sidebar, but like literally sometimes we just don't want to do stuff.
Yeah.
Like, you're just tired or you just don't be feeling like it. And it's always in that moment where it's like somebody's watching, like, hey man, you said this.
That's so true. Like, you don't even realize it. Because to me, I'm like, do people even really watch this? But like, people really be like listening. And even, I think we have to remember that even if it's just one person, that one person's life that you've impacted is enough.
Because it could be like 10, 20 years down the line, somebody big shot owns their own radio station or whatever the case, media company. And I'm like, yeah, I used to watch, this podcast called Creatives Are Essential. And, they're the reason. And you'll be at home like, oh, man, I wish I kept doing it.
Not Christina.
Not me either.
Not Christina. They older, so.
Yes, he is.
But also, my second would be just the response that I've been getting from those photos that I put out. Because I was really proud of myself, guys. Like, I'm not a great photographer. I don't think I'm a great, I don't have the confidence of a great photographer yet. So to put it out there, then like the response from people and to be, recognized by your peers.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah.
So
very much.
Yeah.
Mark,
all right.
This time you take us out.
Okay, but really quick,
Des is like,
y'all comment down in the comment section. What's something that inspired you this week? And we'll be reading those responses.
We gotta come up with a title for that segment, like the inspiration portion, so that people can write their own little thing.
Should we have like some theme music?
That sounded like McDonald's.
No,
I'm loving
I said da 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 da.
Okay. All right, Vanilla Ice. It wasn't doom 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 doom. It was doom 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 ding doom doom.
On that note, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching the Creatives Are Essential podcast. I am Mark Lee,
Des,
Christina,
Joe.
And we will see you on the next...
Bruh, are you going to tell anybody about social... Are you going to tell anybody about
No, they've already turned it off. Thanks, Mark.
Follow us on Instagram at Creatives Are Essential.
Yeah.
Pick up some merch, creativesareessential.co.
Yeah.
And then make sure you like, rate, share, comment on this podcast, wherever you're listening to it.
Yeah.
And we'll catch you on the next one.
I am Mark Lee.
I am Christina.
And I'm Joe.
Peace. Next time you do your own outro.